Right, it's May 13th, 2022. Welcome to News BT on Metro TV. I am Ania Fampof. We're live from the Akua Bohima studio at North Ridge, and we're also streaming live on Facebook. It's Metro TV Ghana, on Instagram and Twitter. It's Metro TV_GH. We'll now take a look at stories or headlines of the stories coming up. Activity to come to a standstill in the new Juaben traditional area as the country lays to rest one of its framers of the 1992 Constitution and paramount chief of the area, Dasebre Professor Emeritus Boateng. More watches of the consumer space reaction suspected food poisoning incident at the Mawako food joint. We'll bring you details of what's happening there. And also, national security makes urgent move to address terrorism as it reassigns operatives from the Tamale to unknown locations who will engage in an expert on the looming threats of terrorism. You're welcome back. Now, Municipal Chief Executive of the new Juaben South, Isaac Apau Jesse, has urged residents in Kofi to be security conscious during the TA or burial rites of the late paramount chief of the new Juaben, Dasebre Professor Emeritus Boateng, and the Queen Mother Nana Ya Dani, which commence tomorrow. Now, this, he says, is because criminals will try to take advantage of the huge number of people attending the burial rites to perpetuate crime.
The paramount chief of the new Juaben traditional area, Dasebre Professor Emeritus Boateng, who was once a government statistician, passed on to glory in August 2021, and the Queen Mother Nana Dani also died earlier this year. The two will be laid to rest from May 13 to 16, 2022. MCE of New Juaben South, Isaac Apau Jesse, has been speaking with Metro News about preparations ahead of the burial rites.
The traditional authority have put together some programs starting from coming Saturday, which is the 14th of May. The funeral will begin. His Excellency the President of the Republic will be here with his ministers. Sunday, all the paramount chiefs across the length and breadth of this country will be here. Monday, we are told the Asantehene Otumfuo Osetutu II will also be here with his retinue of chiefs.
He called on residents to be security conscious as many people will be attending the Dotiye, otherwise known as the burial rites.
There will be a lot of dignitaries in town. People should be conscious about their security. I believe that we should not get ourselves in trouble. All children must be, kept in the house. I'm saying this because when you have so many people, gathering, if you are not careful and you don't put security measures in place, you will have the few badness trying to take advantage.
Public Affairs Officer of the Eastern Regional Police Command, DSP Ebenezer Tete, said preparations are far advanced to ensure safety before, during and after the burial.
I've also planned adequately to ensure that we check the indiscipline that are likely to occasion the activities marking the dossier. We have also gathered intelligence on possible criminals, and swoops have also been organized since last week. We are also ensuring that we station a lot of motor traffic and transport officers at vantage points to ensure that vehicular congestion and traffic is also minimized with barriers minimum.
Their burial will see several activities undertaken in the area, attracting the presence of many dignitaries, including the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the Asantehene Otumfuo Osetutu II.
Now, still on that funeral, traders in the central market of Kofi say they will adhere to the directive by the New Juaben Traditional Authority to close down their shops to allow for the dossier of the late paramount chief and queen mother of the New Juaben area. Now, according to them, although the directive will adversely affect their pockets, they will respect tradition.
The closure of shops will deeply affect my daily bread, but it is for the funeral rites of the paramount chief, and we must respect the directive as part of tradition.
Because all my say ABC ye hima ye hene infection bebam kra ye ho hwe a enye ye nti wo se agitum.
Other traders within the market were concerned about the disregard by some of the foreigners in the community to the directives of the New Juaben Traditional Authority.
The foreigners in the town are not adhering to the directives of the New Juaben Traditional Authorities. The authorities must send in city guards to enforce these directives for everyone.
While traders in the market suffer the consequences of these directives, hotels in Kofi are, however, booked to capacity. Public Affairs Officer of the Eastern Regional Police Command says preparations have been made to guard all hotels in the city from crime.
We will deploy at least 4 officers to every hotel. Almost all the hotels I know in the municipality is here. They have all been booked.
Aside trading activities, the New Juaben Traditional Authority, in conjunction with the Eastern Regional Education Directorate, have directed schools in the community to close down until after the funeral. Parents have also been advised to ensure their kids stay at home before, during, and after the funeral.
So who is this person that's attracting all kinds of restrictions at his funeral? Ghana will lay to rest one of the framers of the 1992 Constitution, the Civil Professor Emeritus Otibuating, on Monday, May 16, 2022. Now, the former government statistician was one time the chairman of the United Nations Statistical Commission. Here is a profile of the late traditional ruler in this brief tribute.
Dasibre Otibuating was a Ghanaian statistician, academic, and traditional ruler. He was the Omanhene, or paramount chief, of the New Juaben traditional area in the eastern region from 1992 until his death in 2021. His wealth of knowledge and history telling was insurmountable.
We were 5 among Tuonum, and that included Juaben. Then they included Kokofu, it included Insuta, and it included Bekwa and Mampong. They were all the Aroko except Mampong, which was Bretio. These were 5 independent entities. We were all under danger.
He attended Konongo Odumasi Senior High School for his secondary school education. Otibuating proceeded to the University of Ghana, where he completed with a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics. He furthered his education at London School of Economics and Political Science, where he earned a Master of Science degree in Statistics. Otibuating also held Doctor of Philosophy degree in Statistics from the University of Liverpool, United Kingdom. Otibuating served as the Ghanaian government statistician and head of the Statistical Service from 1982 to 2000, aggregating to a total of 17 years as head of the Statistical Service. Dasibre also worked with the University of Ghana for 14 years. Within 14 years, he rose to the position of Senior Research Fellow and subsequently Director of Studies at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research. Otibuating was elected as the first black chairman of the United Nations Statistical Commission in 1987. Dasibre Otibuating was also one of the framers of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. In an exclusive interview, he shared interesting thoughts on traditional leaders in politics.
When it comes to politicking, that is party politics, because all the people within your territory, revere to you, is not in consonance with your dignity to align yourself with one of the party to the neglect. Because immediately you do that, then you are fanning divisions within your entity.
So in 1993, he also served as the chairman of the 15th International Conference of Labour Statisticians, which was held in Geneva. He was a member of the International Civil Service Commission, and he served also as a commissioner on the commission at the UN headquarters in New York. The astute statistician and traditional ruler was also an author. He wrote the trilogy on development in unity. In these books, he recommended mathematical and scientific algorithms for including the ordinary citizen in the development agenda he themed the root-based development.
You see, the world itself is not static. See, our world is revolving on its own axis. And the sun, the center of our universe. Therefore, we are making progress. And that progress means that everyone in the country also is involved in that progress. So every now and then we are adding to the progress which is made previously. That is the difference. And the difference is a difference.
Dasibre Emeritus Professor Oti Boateng, after his passing, was the Chancellor for the All Nations University, a private university in the Eastern region, and also served as President of the Eastern Region House of Chiefs.
Now let's move to other stories. And the National Security Ministry has withdrawn its operatives from the Tamale Harbour for reassignment. In the decision took effect on 3rd of May, according to the memo from the ministry, and the decision to withdraw the operatives from the Tamale Harbour, amongst other reasons, forms part of efforts by the Ministry of National Security to enhance ongoing operations towards addressing the threats of violent extremism in the view of surge in activities within the littoral West African states. So barely a week ago, the West African Center for Counter-Extremism issued a strong signal that Ghana faces a high risk of terrorism in the wake of political unrest in the Sahel and part of West Africa. Now, on Wednesday, 8 soldiers were killed and 13 others wounded in the suspected terrorist attack in neighboring Togo. Ghana's Defense Minister Dominic Nituwu has stated in 3 years the region has suffered more than 5,300 terror-related attacks, claiming around 16,000 lives. Now, in the wake of this development, is Ghana better placed to avert any such attacks? And we're joined via Zoom by Mutari Mumuni Mukhtar, who is Executive Director of the West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism, on this development. Thank you, Mutari, for joining us. You're welcome. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers.
Right. So we know that we have received certain warnings some days ago, and we've just woken up to this news that our neighboring Togo seem to have suffered from a terrorist attack. Can you confirm by your expertise that if indeed it is or it was a terrorist attack, and what does that mean to Ghana?
Well, it's a sad and unfortunate situation that the threat is continuing to be amplified in terms of the move and descent towards coastal states. And what we're experiencing in Togo, of course, we are learning with more and more bits of information. It was a terrorist attack, and that this is the single biggest attack in terms of fatalities on the country. So it's a very overwhelming situation for the country. And what it means for all of us, in terms of those countries along the Gulf of Guinea is to prepare adequately in terms of dealing with the spillover phenomenon that is continuing to happen within the region. Ghana as a country still is in a good position. We still are in a good position to focus on preventive measures. We are still in a good position to cultivate not only combat and security measures, but to cultivate the support and goodwill of the local community to ensure timely sharing of information, to ensure that we engage in adequate awareness creation and education in terms of what it means to be radicalized, what are the signs in terms of violent extremist attacks or plans of attacks. How do we work with local security agencies to ensure that we prevent attacks, to ensure that we build resilience against violent extremism on our soil? And so it's a sad situation, but Ghana is still in a better situation to deal with it. The point where you work seriously is when you are yet to be attacked. The point when you are attacked is when everything is too late for you to engage in any meaningful measures against extremism.
So, I mean, the nation is going through quite some tough economic situation, and we're told that it's also a factor and a breeding ground for terrorists or terrorism. And a few days ago, we've been warned by some expert security analysts in the country that even if you're lying in bed with your partner, he or she should be a suspect to you. That actually told me that maybe we have some terrorists already haven't crossed our borders and in the country with us. So with our situation, and if we have such suspicions, how do we describe that we are in a good situation to combat any attack?
So when we talk about in a good situation, we are talking comparatively within the South region. We are yet to experience attacks on home soil. And so much of our measures are still from a preventative perspective. And so you will see the security agencies engage in border patrols, joint exercises, and joint military exercises along the borders to prevent a spillover into our country. If you follow the report we issued days ago, we outlined the various measures the state has taken, and that those are important now, in addition to our recommendations in terms of engaging the local population in using preventive measures against violent extremism. Cote d'Ivoire or Burkina Faso at the moment, they do not have that luxury to focus more on preventive measures. They have a much bigger challenge in terms of preventing areas that are yet to experience attacks, as well as dealing with the challenge in the northern and eastern borders of the country. And so it is a much, much more overwhelming situation for countries that are already experiencing attacks. We are in a better situation because we are yet to experience attacks on home soil. And you rightly pointed out, what is the risk level we're dealing with on our country? We are talking about a country that is surrounded by the threat at all angles. We are talking about a country that has very porous borders. And of course, we have elements who have crossed in and out a couple of times. And of course, the security agencies are dealing with it. So it's a reality we have to face, that they are already here. We just need to make sure that we are dealing with it the right way.
Finally, what should we avoid that necessarily may provoke these terrorist groups? What should we avoid?
So terrorists have a motive, and depends on the orientation of that terrorist group. At the moment, Ghana is part of the broader geographical focus in terms of the targets of the terrorist groups in West Africa. Sometimes you do not need to provoke terrorists. You just need to be of geographical strategic relevance to the extremist group. So Jenin and the ISIS in the Greater Sahara and several others had targeted Ghana, and that hasn't changed. Ghana is still part of the target of extremist groups, And in fact, it is their ambition to ensure that they go through completely, involving the coastal states. And that is what is being done now. It is working according to their plan, and they are moving quickly towards coastal states. At the moment, I repeat again, we don't have to necessarily directly provoke extremists to be part of their target. And so what we have to do is to put enough measures in place. And I keep repeating that we need the local community's support in terms of awareness creation, education, and get them on board. Set up reporting systems that are friendly, that are easier, and encouraging for local community members to be part of this effort. The point where you escalate your meaningful measures is not when you are attacked. The point where you do so is when you're in a situation like this. And I think we are at that critical point where we need to ensure that we escalate our commitment. And that's why I call on the National Security Ministry and the Counterterrorism Unit of the National Security Ministry to set up, a public information system that allows people to call in a dedicated telephone line and telephone numbers that is dedicated solely to information relating to extremism and violent extremism on our soil.
Right, Mutaru Momoni Muta, Executive Director of the West Africa Center for Counterterrorism. Thank you for speaking to us. We'll be following up on what happens, next as far as these attacks are concerned on the sub-region. You're still watching Newsbeat here on Metro TV. We'll go for a breather. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to Newsbeat. So let's go back to the Eastern region where Dasibre Otibuating Emeritus actually were facing the days of his burial and some restrictions being put in place. Kofi Ejay is an Eastern regional correspondent, and he joins us via Zoom to tell us more ahead of the burial rites for the chief and the queen mother of New Traditional Area as well. Kofi, good afternoon. You're welcome. Hello, Kofi. Hello? Kofi Ejay, can you hear me? All right, so we are hoping to raise Kofi Ejay on the phone line to tell us more from the Eastern region, to be precise, Koforidua, in the wake of the funeral rites that we have already started performing in the Eastern region, and most of the chiefs are going to be, we know or we've heard that Asantehene himself is going to be there. A couple of chiefs are going to be there. It's going to be a busy, moment for the people of the Eastern region. Some schools have been closed down, and some shops, directives are being given that shops, especially those around the palace, are also supposed to close down. Let's just hope that Kofi can join us to tell us more about this story. And it says that Ghana will lay the rest of the framers, one of the framers of the 1992 Constitution. Just in case you don't know, the paramount chief of the Juaben traditional area who has passed, Professor Emeritus Otibuating. Let's see if we can get details from Kofi. Kofi Ejay, have you joined us now? Hello, Kofi. Kofi, can you hear me? Okay, so I don't seem to still be having Kofi on the phone lines. We're hoping that the technical challenges will go over it. So that's the Eastern region you saw in your shot. We're hoping to get to Kofi for him to bring us up to speed with what is happening there as far as the funeral rites of Professor Emeritus Otibuating is concerned. But in the same time, we still have some more stories. Let's get to another human interest story about the Mawako food poisoning that actually broke over the weekend, and we've been following through. FDA actually closed down some agencies, but there's another statement that's come out. It says that the FDA, in collaboration with the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly, has suspended all activities of the Belengpe branch of Mawako Restaurant, in addition to the East Legon branch, as part of the ongoing investigations on the suspected food poisoning incidents. Now, the branch of Morocco has also been closed. As part of its investigations, the authority has also visited Yeboah and Dale Hospital, both in East Legon, for more information on the reported cases of the suspected food poisoning. The authorities' Center for Laboratory Services and Research has taken relevant samples of further analysis to establish the cause of the food poisoning. Now, as stated in our earlier notice, all necessary actions are being taken, including revisiting all branches of the Moako restaurant to establish the extent of the incidents in order for corrective actions to be initiated to prevent any further harm to the public. This statement was signed by Food and Drugs Authority Chief Executive Officer. We're now joined via Zoom by the Chief Executive Officer for Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Capito, for a conversation. Hello, Kofi. You're welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers.
Right. So, Consumer Protection Agency working over the years, to secure a welfare of consumers. How do you find this development of Moako?
Well, to me, it's nice that the FDA, as an institution who is supposed to regulate, is doing what they are mandated to do. So we should all be happy that they have intervened and doing investigations. Are they doing the right thing? Yes, but the question is, to justify some of these things, you need to do more investigation. It is not the best thing to have food poison when you go and spend your money to purchase any food. So it is in the right direction for the investigation.
So, I mean, with Moako as a brand, it has never been in the news for good reasons. Every time it comes up in the news, it's for one bad reason or the other. Is there something that we're not doing as far as the Moako restaurant itself, as a company operating in the country, is concerned?
I don't think so. The first instance was some stupid staff member who just misbehaved. This is a different thing. This is something that probably is not even their fault. Maybe their suppliers can be held accountable. So I don't think it's fair for us to say that they are notorious, and anytime they come in the news, it's not for a positive thing. I'm sure they have some positive news to report. I mean, they've been in business for a while, and people actually go there and enjoy their food. So let's just be patient and see the outcome of the investigation by the FDA.
So, I mean, as the FDA has closed down some outlets of the fast food joints and investigating the events, are these immediate measures adequate, at least for now?
Yeah, very much. That is what one needs to do. And like I said earlier, the FDA is doing the right thing, so we should all support the FDA for them to do the right thing. I'm glad that people are not accusing them that they are collapsing somebody's business. At least food safety is very, very important. Anything that goes into your body, you should be aware of what you're putting in there. In this case, I will not blame the consumers not being responsible, because you go to Mawako expecting to get quality of food. You don't expect to be affected by anything. So let's see. Like I said, investigation is ongoing. To me, it's not just the FDA, even the individuals themselves who have been affected. They can also go and look at other independent source of people to do investigations on their behalf.
How about the victims? The support system should be availed to victims and their relatives during this ordeal. But how about people suggesting that they can, on their own, sue the company?
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, Ghana will like, somebody should do it for us. We have too many lawyers in Ghana. That is the job of lawyers, to go to the court on behalf of clients to be able to seek redress for them. One of the cardinals of the consumer protection is the right to sue and the right to be compensated. So if there's room to sue, there's room to compensate, I think it is the right thing to do.
Kofi Capito, thank you for your time, for speaking to. I will follow up on this story as well. Now, to other stories, Ghanaian Diversity Visa 2022 winners fear losing the opportunity to benefit from the flagship U.S. program due to what they describe as undue for interview appointments. So, though interview appointments end on 30th of September 2022, only about 50 out of 1,000 selected applicants have been interviewed. Joining me via Zoom is one of the concerned applicants of the Diversity Visa Lottery, Moses Nabari. But before that, let's hear from some winners of this video.
To schedule more interviews for DB 2022 so that we don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I'm a DB 2022 selectee. Please, Accra Embassy, kindly schedule more interviews for us before we lose this lifetime opportunity.
Hi, Accra Embassy. We are DB 2022 selectees in Ghana, also hoping to lead the American dream. Though we understand you guys at Accra Embassy are dealing with more backlogs. But since our fiscal year is time-bound, with less than 8 months to the end of the fiscal year, we plead with you guys at Accra Embassy to schedule more interviews for us. We trust you guys, and we know you can make our dream come true.
We know you are very busy, U.S. Embassy Accra. We know you have a lot of backlogs to deal with. But please, schedule more DV interviews. Help us save our dreams. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We beg you.
Hello, U.S. Embassy Ghana. We appreciate the fact that you are doing so well, and we understand the fact that there are a lot of backlogs on you, and for that matter, DV issues are currently pending. We DV 2022 winners are currently in anguish and in hope, expecting your appointment. We are pleading with you that in as much as it is very necessary for others.
Well, apologies for the poor video there. You're still watching News BT on Metro TV. Let's take a breather. We'll be back with more. All right, you're welcome back to News Beat. Now let's take some updates from the business world. And now to our first business story. The Chief Executive Office of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Ifwa Asabi Asari, has reviewed that Ghana's exportation of goods and services increased by 17% during the peak of COVID-19. According to her, this is a better performance when compared to other countries. She said this when briefing the media on the upcoming 13th World Trade Promotion Organization conference.
And I work with ITC. I particularly don't see any challenges. What I see is us coming together and even deepening the relationship we have and working more to help the small businesses. So what this conference is going to achieve eventually is how we are even going to help and support the small businesses to achieve more. And that is why Ghana Export Promotion Authority is putting everything it can in place to support small businesses. The Impact Hub, the Market Hub, and all the interventions that we are doing with the support of organizations like ITC. The second question was?
The second question was about how Ghana fared during this COVID in terms of...
Ghana fared very well. Other countries, as other countries were going down in exports, we rather went up by 17%, which has never happened in the history of this country before. So we are doing very well, and it is all due to the collaborative work that we do with other agencies.
Now, hoteliers are crying over new tariffs for both water and electricity, having recovered from the COVID-19 devastation. President of the association, Dr. Edward Aka Nyamike, says government must come to their aid or else the new tariffs will drown the investments.
The announcement of the closure of hotels and all entertainment places led to huge losses. Though these facilities were opened after Ghana began vaccination efforts, some were slow to recover. Some hoteliers say they are yet to recover from the devastation brought by COVID. President of the Hoteliers Association, Dr. Edward Aka Nyamike, said investors are still counting their losses as patronage is now picking up.
A lot of our businesses have had to deal with loans and debt that were incurred during the period, but we are still not pre-COVID performance level, which we are all hoping for.
However, with the proposed 148% electricity and 334% water tariffs, the hospitality industry is beginning to feel the heat again. The president of the Ghana Hotels Association believes their businesses will be negatively affected.
They cannot survive it. It will impact negatively. And I am hoping that the PURC, with the various inputs that they are receiving from the public and organizations, will do the needful so that we take the bigger picture into consideration, where even when we're not working, we have to be paying salaries and others. The recovery process is still going on. So, and in recent times too, the challenges with the foreign exchange, fuel prices, and then the general high cost of living that has this is the last thing that we expected to add to our woes.
He called on government to review the proposed tariffs.
I want the government to look at this, the figures carefully, as presented by PURC. Let's not kid ourselves. PURC may have the final say, but when government also decides that, okay, this is the right figures that we need to pay, however, we want to intervene with some subsidies, just to make sure that the system is.
Now, Member of Parliament for the Tamale North constituency, Al-Hassan Shaibu Sohini, has expressed disappointment in the government's handling of a Japa deal, saying the Nanado-led administration is only interested in blowing up the future revenue.
Whatever attempt that is being made by the finance minister and his cohorts to bring this back without consideration of the burdens that they are going to put on future generations, since they seem to only be preoccupied with the gains that they will make today, will be resisted by not just us in the minority, but clearly with civil society, like it happened in the past. He's only confirming the point that I made about the wisdom in what I thought was a joke when it was first said by a friend of mine that the president made a mistake putting 2 investment bankers at the finance ministry. It is confirmed that the focus of this government is just to raise funds. But there's a reason why our constitution talks about the minister responsible for finance and economic planning.
The finance.
Well, on the same program, Good Morning Ghana, on which Sohini spoke, Managing Director of the State Transport Corporation, Anakomia, also said the government will, at all times, even when it comes to a Japa deal, only take decisions in the interest of the country.
Finance Minister, because of the disagreements and dissents that came upon the first introduction of a Japa, what did the finance minister and the government do? What did they do? They withdrew it.
They withdrew it.
They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. They withdrew it. But now we are being told.
All right, let's now take some sports, and Phil John Corte will be next with some sports updates.
Let's focus on the EPL match day 37 will be quite interesting, with Liverpool not in action because of the FA Cup against Chelsea that will come on. But Tottenham that beat Arsenal yesterday will welcome Burnley at Villa Park. It will be Steven Gerrard playing against Crystal Palace. That should be interesting. Burnley will travel all the way to Ellen Road. They will play against Newcastle. Watford, they have been relegated. They will play the gentlemen from the King Power Stadium. The likely champions of the EPL once again, Manchester City. Should they beat West Ham? That will be interesting what happened in London. Wolves, they were beaten by Manchester the last time round. 5-1 ended. They will play against relegated Norwich City. Then we have Everton, the Goodison Impact. In the city of Liverpool, they play against Brentford. Then on Monday, match day 37, the EPL wrap up at St. James Park as Newcastle play against Arsenal, who are trying to qualify for top 4. Let's go straight to Spain and find out how Barcelona and Real Madrid will be playing. Espanyol and Valencia will start the match day 37 tonight. Then it will be Celta Vigo playing against Elche. Sunday, you see all the matches, including the Cracker. That is at the Metropolitano. It will be Atletico Madrid playing against Sevilla. Real Madrid, they won it already. They will play against Cadiz. Then Getafe will welcome Barcelona. Let's focus on the Ghana Premier League, but not about the Ghana Premier League this time around. It's about the FA Cup. It's a semi-final tie. The Phobians will play against Dreams FC. You see it on your screens over there at the Accra Sports Stadium. It's Accra so playing against Dreams FC Saturday at the Accra Sports Stadium. That match will start at 15 hours GMT. Then Bechem, they are also trying as much as possible to finish second in the Ghana Premier League. They will play against Adriana Stars. So this is the situation. There will be no matches in the Ghana Premier League. Instead, it's the FA Cup. Well, that's your sports. My name is Phil John Corte. Desi standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Yes, coming up is entertainment news. My name is Desmond Okrekodan. So now Yawa, some of our entertainment desk, has been speaking to the originator of the One Leg song that has now become a dance challenge on social media, and he's been sharing how it all started.
So jump to the center, move one leg like this, bounce it, bounce it, go, bounce it.
The One Dance Challenge has become one of the hottest trends on social media, especially on TikTok, with several people jumping onto it, including Nigerian Grammy-winning artist Burna Boy and basketball legend Big Shaq.
Go Burna, come on.
Nicknamed Jehovah is the originator of the song, which has become a dance challenge, and he explains how it all started.
You know, I always tell people, I don't know. I was actually on live on TikTok just playing around with my people, and we were just dancing, vibing. And, you know, I said what I said. And I'm like, oh, let me just record it and post it. So it wasn't like something I planned or... That's why I would say it's God, because like, you know what I mean? So I've been doing music, trust me. I have like love songs like Wara and Give Me Love with Mr. Drew and Somu by myself. I've been doing a lot of like love music and Afrobeat by Mfa. So this one, I was just like, this is my living room. This is where I do everything. I stand here, I was on live. I was trying to teach somebody how to dance. I was like, one leg, and then after the live, I'm like, yo, let me just record it and post it because like, I like it. So I posted it and then boom, it just happened.
He also stated that he wished Ghanaian artists would jump on the challenge and support him just as he is receiving from elsewhere.
It feels okay. I say that because I wish my Ghanaian people, my own people, will support me as much as like the Americans and everybody supporting. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. Me, I keep it real. Like I have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it is what it is. My Ghanaian people are not really embracing it. Now they're coming around. You know, after DJ Black played it at the Ghana via GMA Awards. You know, I saw Ajia for real. I saw like none of the Ghanaian big artists have jumped on it. I know they know about it, but you know my people, they're gonna pretend they don't know what's going on. But you know, it is what it is. I still love them regardless, you know.
Jehovah is very popular on social media and has been releasing videos on his platform. Until then, let's do the one-leg dance.
And that's it for entertainment. You see Annie doing the one-leg dance. My name is Desmond Okreko. Back to you, Annie.
Desmond, thank you. Let's take some international updates. Now, on the international front, Muslim students in the southwest Nigerian city of Sokoto on Thursday stoned a Christian student to death and burnt her corpse after accusing her of blasphemy against the Prophet Muhammad. Police said dozens of Muslim students of Shehu Shagari College of Education went on rampage after fellow student Deborah Samuel made a statement on social media that they considered offensive against the Prophet Muhammad. Sanusi Abubakar, a Sokoto police spokesperson, said in a statement. Now, the students forcefully removed the victim from the security room where she was hidden by the school's authority, killed her and burnt her in the building, Abubakar said. He said the student band together with miscreants and blocked the highway outside the school before the police teams dispersed them. Abubakar said 2 suspects have been arrested. Now, Sokoto is among a dozen northern states where the strict Islamic legal system or Sharia is in operation. State Information Commissioner Isa Bajini Galadati said in a statement confirmed the unfortunate incident in which a student at the college lost her life. Footage from the rampage was shared on social media, and police said all suspects identified in the video will be arrested. Now, on this disturbing note, we end the news beat. It came to you live from the Ikea Boahima studio at North Radio. We'll be back at 2 with Good Afternoon Ghana, 4 with News Flash, and at 7 with News Night. My name is Ania Fompo. Thank you for watching.